What is going on, everybody? Non here. Apologize for the couple days away. I was out of the country with family on vacation. I tried to record the first day, but realized that third world internet, data, and cell service is complete garbage. Um, and if you're lucky, it says 3G on the phone. So I said, you know what? Fuck it. We'll spend time with family, and when we get back, we'll hit a hard. So anyway, long overdue market update. So we're going to go through Magic, Pokemon. We're going to hit a bunch of newer games, Gundam, League of Legends, One Piece, Godzilla, which is a game that nobody's talked about and is extremely underordered. I'm going to walk you through some of the price action here. So first of which is Final Fantasy Collector Boosters. They're now up to $1,450. It seems like every time we hit one of these milestones, people come out of the woodwork. You have some of the bigger sellers, MVP. Let's see, who else? I forget. Devastation comes out and they sell 4 or 5 or 6. And then you have a bunch of folks here that looks like it's just some of the bot stores, potentially not accusing them of that, but they don't have the stars, so they don't have a whole lot of sales recently, who everybody undercuts the market by a couple cents, which is just fucking retarded when something is going straight up. But it looks like we have a little bit of a wall of resistance here, which could get eaten up in a day or two. But if we look at this, I mean, we're still averaging 22 sold a day, 17 today, 7 yesterday, 16 the day before. At $1,500, these things are just moving incredibly fast. And the interesting thing is this is really the first instance in a long time where something has just doubled this quickly, where we theoretically could have had the same box sold multiple times just to capture some margin. But look, these things are drying up super fast. If we go down here, there's 245 on the market. There was 220 yesterday, so there's still product coming out. But I think if we look at the Golden Chocobo tracker, which is a cool thing, I think there were 34 known pulled last I knew. So we're getting close to this product disappearing. I know there's a lot of rip and ships that are still going through these things like crazy. So it's interesting, and the Omega packs are up at $150. Gift bundles. I've been pounding the pavement on these for a while, since they were down at 170, because there were a million people who bought them or got them. Here you go. Extremely cheaply on Amazon, Walmart, etc. This is the same shop that had some of the collector boxes. And I said, look, these things are probably worth $250 when they were at 170. It was a steal. And I was buying them 170 as low as 135. I think I bought a bunch at. And again, they have 9 play boxes. They have 1 collector pack. And they have the 2 promos, which some of the promos are still worth, I believe, high double digits, maybe even a little bit over $100 for the Sephiroth one. I haven't looked at them recently, but a lot of the singles have started to creep up again now that things are starting to get scarce. By the way, play boxes, I have heard, again, this past week, that the reprint of play boxes isn't coming until November. Which is a little crazy. My guess, and we'll touch on this with Edge of Eternities, and we've talked about the Spider-Man allocations, the Avatar allocations, that the first reprint of this are taking direct to Amazon and direct to consumer. They can sell it at market all day long, and their margin is going to be probably 2 to almost 3 times what it is selling to distribution. And then distribution gets the seconds as they come in. That's the only thing that makes sense to me on the timeline. I know Wizards does stupid things, but when it comes to overprinting, whether it's stupid or not, it's something they've always been able to do. That's why I find this fascinating, and I think some of the perceived shortage, especially with Spider-Man and Avatar play boxes, is the fact that they are holding back. I don't think they're short printed at all. I think they're holding them back, and they're going to sell them direct to Amazon. So moving to Edge of Eternities, and this is something I've seen a lot. So these things, these are the Edge of Eternity's collector boxes. These things dump down to like $300 here for a second on the first, when every store who is hurting for cash comes out and it's a race to zero. They got bought up very quickly, and we're still selling 82 a day. Today we sold 63, the day before 76, 134 the day before. So these are going to get chewed up real fast at 300. And honestly, I think these are probably going to end up being, close to $500 collector boxes. Now, I will note that these have been getting dumped on Amazon mercilessly, and it's just they keep coming and they keep coming and they keep coming for really the last couple days. Which again, Edge of Eternity's collector boxes were more allocated for me than anything recently for collectors, which again tells me that Wizards is holding back product and they're selling it direct to consumer at $2.99, which is again their MSRP for a non-premium product. That's why they, in my view, they created MSRP so they can push it through Amazon. And looks like heroes, because if the market price and the perceived shortage of product through distribution creates FOMO, pushes the price of the product up, they can come out, they can sell at MSRP direct to the consumer. They look like the good guy, they look like heroes, and they hold a shitload of product back. They make 2 to 3 times the margin. I mean, it's business. It is what it is. So, that being said, there was a small second wave that hit distribution here. I know we got a decent chunk of these, but now all of it's gone. So moving on to Edge of Eternity play. This is another one that dumped really heavily here through release, as low as 126. These are recovering now. Let's see. What did this come? I don't even know when this came out. Must have come out. No, this is my sale. Yeah, it must have come out here August. It was August 1st. Fuck. Yeah, as low as 118. But if you look here, these have recovered all the way up to 138. And there's only 490 here. And they are selling about 100 of these a day. So these play boxes are going to dry up. The price of these is probably going to go to 150, 160. And Watsy's going to step in Amazon and sell them at MSRP, which I think is like 165. And they're going to look like the good guys because there is a shortage of product out there. So that is the current state of the Magic market. This is exactly what I think Wizards is doing. Quite honestly, it's kind of genius, not going to lie. You create the perception of a short printing with distribution. It goes out to everybody in LGSs. People get FOMO. People buy the product. The prices go through the roof. And they're sitting on more product and more free money. So it is what it is at this point. Now, there's going to be an equilibrium where they just keep dumping product and everybody says, you know what, fuck these guys. They've done this before. We're not going to pay the extra price on Amazon. And it's going to bite them in the ass at some point. But that time is not now. So that's it for Magic. Also Spider-Man. They just announced a gift bundle that comes out October 17th, 27th, something like that, which wasn't announced with the original issue, the original set of SKUs. Looks like it's, I believe, 9 play packs, the collector pack. But there are unique promos in that item. So unlike Final Fantasy, where there weren't unique promos, they were the same promos in the regular bundle. These are going to be unique, which is kind of cool. I'm not going to lie. So moving on, let's talk Pokemon. Destined Rivals. The value of the cards in the set. I actually went back through my videos while I was on vacation because, quite honestly, there's only so much time you can spend on the beach getting burnt to a crisp, and then you get bored. So I did my video all the way back here, back in early May, where I compared the value of the Japanese cards to an imputed 2x on average value for English cards, which has been recently what the blended average premium is on English versus Japanese. Obviously, apples and oranges, but these are wide swaths of factual calculations. And I said, look, the value of the cards in the set is going to support a $300 to $350 box price. Whether trades are or not, I don't know. And then, all the fucking MSRP-ness, Timmy Army that, oh my God, they're going to reprint, sell all your card jerk-offs. They're like, oh, you're an idiot. Well, guess what? The market does what the market does. We're now up to $320 in these boxes because the value of the cards in the set supports a higher box price. And at the end of the day, if you can pull multiple $100, $200, $300, $400 cards out of a set, the set is not going to be priced at $110 a box. Any of you who think that should probably consider a different hobby or just run the math on this. You're never going to have positive EV in the boxes. That's just not the way Pokemon works because Pokemon is a toy. Magic will have positive EV because there is playability, there's value. The players expect value to the sets. People that open Pokemon, again, it's a toy. Some people expect value, but ultimately, if you mass open Pokemon, you are going to lose money. It's just the way it works. So, I don't know when there's going to be reprints of the product coming out. I would imagine we're probably going to see another wave. Probably around second week of September. And the only reason I say that is they tend to reprint and ship with new releases, such as Mega Evolutions, which looks like it's going to be an absolute home run as well. I kind of like this set a little bit better than Destin, but I am biased. But yeah, I mean, look, we are 3 weeks from the summer effectively being over, and the market has slowed down a little bit. It's cooled down a little bit, but all in all, it is going batshit crazy. So when people get back the end of August, in early September, I would expect a pretty sizable step up in all this. And in fact, we're seeing it right now. Evolving Skies took the next leg up to, I think, $2,500 per box. Again, I'm a couple days out of the market, so it's a little dated. Saw Lost Origins up at about $600 again, maybe a tick below $600. I think it was as low as $415 at one point. After the boxes went up and pulled back. No, I'm wrong. 500, 525. I'm thinking Chilling Reign. So the boxes are back up at $600. So that's 2 Sword and Shield sets that have taken the next leg up. I would anticipate everything else to follow suit, and we take another 20 to 40% increase in box pricing, probably 25%. Which again, you're talking some big numbers, and that'll be everything across the board. So that'll be, Chilling maybe for whatever reason people don't like that, but it'll be Brilliant, Astral, Silver Tempest. The other thing of note, I've noticed that the total available packs of Crown Zenith, there was a point where there was like 26,000 available at the height of the Sea and Sky dump. This was back in November, December, right before it rotated out, which is kind of hilarious. There's 6,000 packs available right now, and decent sell-through rate. But it's crazy just how quickly that set is drying up, which is super interesting. So, moving on, black and white. The black packs with tax are probably a little bit under $10. White's probably about $9.50. I think the packs are $8.25 plus tax. But again, this is release date, and well, not release date, but we're within a month of release. And I think one of the driving factors, and the white ETBs, you're sitting right around $80. Black, you're sitting just under $90. One of the driving factors is these products were bought into hell. So a lot of folks who, bought the products, you can't flip them to make any money right now because they've come down, and it's kind of like the max pain point, right? These guys paid $60 for an ETB plus 6% tax. Call it $65, right? Just for round numbers. So they're able to sell them on here for $80. You're taking 13%, so you're really $70, and then you got to pay $10 to ship. You're at $60. You're right at plus or minus $2 or $3. Well, I should say minus $2 or $3, somewhere between that and even. So this is a max pain point. So there's no way for people to make any money doing this. Now, if you sell packs, there's a little bit more flexibility. Obviously, the cost of the shipping is significantly less, especially if you don't send it with tracking. So we'll see what happens. But, these sets are actually holding up a little bit better than what I thought. I kind of assumed they'd all settle right around the $75 range. They haven't gotten there yet. So, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see if they hit everybody with a second wave of reprints here, or when this, I should say, the second wave of release comes for the ETBs and some of the ancillary products. But we'll see. This it's been a little soft, which is kind of what I expected before we go into Mega Evolutions and everybody gets their face ripped off again. So, Drew Together, everybody's most hated set, back to $220. This has just gone straight up from the bottom. This doesn't work on TCG Player, but at least the 1 month does. So again, the worst set continues to recover after the sell-off. It's like this across the board, guys. The sealed market in Pokemon is absolutely rock solid. And I know people talk about, well, there's some red flags and this and that. Just because your Ace Hardware has some cards, that doesn't mean it's a red flag. It means that they have access to distribution where they can get a couple boxes, they can get a couple cases. Maybe they're buying them aftermarket just to get people in there. Like, it's not like it's a sign of the apocalypse. It's, hey, I can make money on this, so I'm going to do it. I think a lot of people are a little overhyped over the signs of the bubble apocalypse here. Surging Sparks, the set that's been reprinted 3 times now. I don't know what the number is, but I just got some more boxes this past week. You're still at $345, so $345. So over the last 6 months, let's go to a year. So this thing's been reprinted a bunch of times. This is like a double bottom. Now it's just going to go straight to $300 because at some point they're going to have to stop reprinting this. They're going to have to print. I'm sure they're going to hit 151 twice still. In my view, there's a booster bundle reprint coming because we did see the Walmart Gen Con, 2 booster bundles for $50 or something. They've obviously gotten them through MJ Holdings, which is new product coming from Pokemon. So I'm anticipating that to hit distribution probably in late August to mid-September at some point. Then I would imagine another dump's going to come out for the holidays. I just look at the whole Crown Zenith thing and just anticipate the exact same dump as much as you can in the market before it rotates out. And then, after April of 2026, we'll see what they do. But, this set's getting damn close to 9 months old now. So, there's more printing they can do. But the fact that they've printed so damn much of this product and it's been this resilient, it tells you everything you need to know about the market. And as we get closer to year end, all of the early sets, SV1 through SV4.5, they're going to start to make chunk plays and move up because people are going to become more and more confident that the reprint is not coming. So let's talk some indies. Gundam. So for those of you who don't know, Gundam released, and it's releasing in 2 waves. So the first wave came on the 25th, the week of the 25th of July. I got about, 25% of my allocation. The remaining 75% is supposed to ship next week. So if you are in the market for Gundam boxes, when that second shipment comes, the end of next week, early the following week, and there is a bunch of product on the market. Again, 75% of the allocation, to my knowledge, hasn't come yet now. What's interesting about Gundam is apparently Bandai dictated that unless you are signed up for Gundam Play, you don't get product. Now, I'm sure if you're a big boy, you're going to get product, right? It's just the way it is. But, Rudy didn't run a sale. He didn't get much of any product on this one. He does not sign up for organized play, doesn't have brick and mortar. So this is the first one that's kind of breaking the mold a little bit, and they've pushed it with One Piece, but this one's legit. That when that second wave hits, you need to buy a box. These boxes are going to be $1,000. What I'm told, and I'm just guessing, most of the warehouses for the majors who carry the product got between 3,000 and 6,000 boxes. So if you assume there are, let's see, Alliance, GTS, PhD, and Southern all carried this. So if they're, just say they each got 25,000 boxes per. That's 100,000 boxes of a set that is absolutely on fire. Have a decent 30, 38, a decent amount sold per day, but there's only 58 in the market. 13,000 boxes sold. You're going to have your opportunity to buy this. The second set comes out in October. But again, you're going to want to buy this. Here's your release date, 165. When the second wave hits, because it's going to have the maximum amount of product on market. And I would recommend the 18 box sealed cases. Just do it. Get it over with. So let's go to where am I at? Here we go. Let's go to One Piece. We'll just hit all the Bandai. So Legacy the Master comes out. Looks like OP11 sitting at 137 a box still, which is interesting. I think now that we're through OP12, when we have obviously 12 plus releases of One Piece, it seems like the Bandai is gonna Bandai stigma has really faded. And it seems like One Piece has gotten to the point where there's just an ever-increasing degree of confidence that these products will be investable and they're not going to kill it. Now, obviously, this is not the first One Piece game. There have been at least one other that was started and failed. But I think right now there's enough critical mass in this game for it to be, investable / pseudo investable if it's something you're interested in. And the fact that OP11 is really the first set in the last 5 or 6, don't crucify me if there's one off here. I haven't paid that much attention to One Piece up until end of 2024, obviously, when I was ordering OP13, which was the first set that we really went heavy on, which the lag for this is insane. But yeah, it also pays off if you're early to the movie or early to the show. The first OP11 was the first set that I don't believe hit $100 at release, maybe even sub $100. The fact that it's 137 now just tells me that the investing public is sucking a lot of sealed product away, and they're taking a lot of that supply off the market from the start. So I would anticipate that's only going to grow from here. I don't know what Bandai is going to do about print runs, about reprints, etc. We'll see. This is kind of uncharted territory. So now we're going to talk about some super specs. Godzilla versus Godzilla. So it's a Bushiroad distributed game, but it's not a Bushiroad game. So I know people are going to talk shit about this. I saw this game at Gamma in February of this year. It looked really cool. What I didn't appreciate is the game itself is being produced and run by the production studio that owns the rights to Godzilla. Toho, something like that. Doesn't matter. Japanese studio, similar to I don't know, Universal, MGM, whatever they are in the US. So Bushi theoretically can't fuck it up. Now, Bush could fuck anything up. But that being said, this game was extremely underordered. We ordered 120 some boxes. This was way back in February, just because it looked cool. And it's like, you know what, whatever. It's not a huge investment. Now there's not a whole lot of margin in it. I think distribution price was $46, and they came out at 55, which is MSRP, stated MSRP, etc. And the boxes are small. I mean, it's 12 booster packs for a box, so it's actually quite expensive for that size box. But what I found with a lot of folks in our Discord, dropping $50, $55, whatever it is on a box, for the cool factor is something that people are willing to do. It's not like you're dropping, 100, 150, 200 bucks on something. So what's interesting is there's only 21 on the market, and these are gone. There might be a reprint coming at some point, and I know the studio hasn't really pushed this recently, or hasn't pushed the game, because I think they didn't know when the product was going to come out. But there's 18 of these sold daily. I mean, this is selling better than a Flesh and Blood release, which is kind of crazy. And it's also selling better than, not quite better, but it's selling on par with the HoloLive game that is a Bushi game that came out, and it really, I think it exceeded everybody's expectations from an English sales perspective. But I fully expect the studio to really start pushing this game, getting the word out, trying to get some interest in it. There's a second set coming out in October. We ordered a couple hundred boxes just because, this one is under ordered. And quite honestly, if the game survives, I could see these boxes going to a couple $100. Because I mean, right here, you're already at $70 a box. And there's only 21 of them available, which is crazy. Now, the cards are kind of cool. I just want to show you guys the cards real quick. I'm not shilling this at all. I don't have any product left. I've sold it all for $50 to $55 a box. But some of these cards are cool. And there's some interesting rarities here. So they have the SSP, the SSP, and the SSSP. It's similar to the way that Y sets are put together. But I mean, these cards are kind of cool looking. You have the gold thing. Now, I've never been a big Godzilla fan. Yeah, there it is, Toho. Oh, shit, I didn't screw it up. I have no idea how you play the game. Quite honestly, I don't really care. Now, none have sold, which is interesting. Let's see. Yeah, none have sold, none are listed. So, I did look in Japan a lot of the cards are selling at similar price points, at least last I looked. So it'll be interesting to see, again, how the studio drums up interest. But again, as a pure spec play, there aren't a whole lot of boxes out there. It was super underordered just because people didn't give a shit. So let's move to, we're going to touch Riftbound last. So Flesh and Blood. I'll touch on this one quickly. So High Seas, this is the last set. It's sitting at $109 a box. The sealed product doesn't sell. And the main concern that I had here, 633 boxes for like $129. Again, we look at 633. Just buried the lead there. Shit. Let's go back. I think there have been more Godzilla boxes that have sold, which is pretty damn embarrassing. Yeah, 563. So 100 fewer. 80 fewer boxes of Godzilla have sold than High Seas Flesh and Blood. I think we're in the danger zone here. And the reason I say that is, with High Seas, there have been 2 sets in a row that have done really well. And a lot of stores have just added this because they think it's free money. And the sealed product does not sell for shit. Like, unless you're going to break the product and sell singles, which, quite honestly, the EV on these boxes is way more than the $109 price point or the $90 whatever map bullshit price number is. We've had a lot of stores buy the sealed product they don't know what to do with the sealed product. I think that's part of the reason why the high seas boxes are down at 109. I think I think Rosetta was at 130 last I checked. There's nobody's going to watch this who's a Flesh and Blood fan, so I don't really care. But the Super Slam booster box, which is the dumbest card name ever, just call it SummerSlam. Just put Hogan and like the Ultimate Warrior on the front. Just call it a day. People would buy it because it's much cooler. The allocations have been absolutely murder. I know of stores who have been buying multiple hundreds of boxes of this set that they got double-digit boxes, which tells me the print runs are probably similar, but the number of stores who are looking to buy the product has grown exponentially, which creates a problem where the folks that know what to do with the boxes and process the boxes are getting less, and folks that have no idea what the fuck to do with these are getting product, and it's all going to get dumped on TCG Player, which is going to deflate the value of the box, and it's going to create a problem. So, just what I see in the future for this game. Not too much that anybody can do about it. It just is what it is. So, let's end this on League of Legends. I don't like the art on this. I've never played League of Legends, but hey, let's talk Riftbound. So, the game was officially pushed from October 1st to October 31st. Here it just says we'll ship in October. We are signed up for organized play. The reason we did that is it does give us a much better chance of getting more product. There's got to be demand for the game, for sure. And honestly, the art reminds me a little bit about Lorcana, which scares the shit out of me. But I don't think it's not going to be that junky. So, the game was pushed back to October 31st. Now, while I don't have any information on allocations yet or purchase orders or anything, for obvious reasons, they just delayed the game. I will tell you that they are really taking organized play seriously when it comes to allocating product and picking your distributor, etc. So I don't know how much of this they've taken out of Bandai's book or Magic's book, but hopefully they're allocating this to stores that are signed up for organized play, and they're not allocating shit to just, online pump and dump stores who don't really give a fuck. So, that being said, I'm told, and this is not a high degree of confidence, that within this week or next week or two, I should say this week or next week, we should have some idea of what Riftbound is going to look like from an overall purchase order perspective. My understanding is that unless it's somebody super, super, super high up that I don't have access to or don't know, nobody has any idea what to expect from allocations from Riftbound, which is a great way to operate. So, anyway, guys, hopefully this was helpful. This is everything I have for now. Have a great night, and we will catch you again tomorrow.